Oh, now we're good. Okay, we're going to get started shortly here. If everyone could have a seat, please. And if I could ask everyone to please put their phone to silent. People still rolling. Okay. Okay, we're going to get started here. The title is Housing Supply Challenge. I'm introducing Daniel Millett, has been in the housing sector for more than 18 years and with over a decade of experience in policy, research, and planning at CMHC. Daniel is a design thinking specialist, University of Virginia, and currently holds a position of the Senior Analyst Innovation at CMHC. Daniel is, I'm probably saying your name wrong. Daniel is passionate about housing and has been instrumental in designing and executing the current round of the Housing Supply Challenge, Northern Access Supply Chain Solutions for Northern and Remote Housing. Please give a round of applause for Daniel. Daniel.
Thank you so much. Are you guys ready to have some fun? Uh-oh, I'm from the government. Got a big book here of notes. I'll try to make it a little bit fun. Maybe the questions and answers can be fun. We'll see. So hello, thank you so much to the organizers for this incredible event. I am extremely happy to be here in person to see all of you. So I join you today to provide an update on the Housing Supply Challenge, what's going on with a focus on what the First Nations teams are doing in the Housing Supply Challenge. As well, we have another round that's coming up. So we do have a call for proposals that's coming for our building technology round, in case you're interested. But before giving the details, I'd like to make some introductions. Again, I'm Danielle Millett, Senior Innovation Analyst from CMHC, Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. So CMHC is the federal agency responsible for housing, and our aspiration is that by 2030, everyone in Canada will be able to afford a home that meets their needs. So this aspiration is critical to address the housing need in the First Nations. And affordable housing is an ambitious goal. We cannot do it alone. We mobilize the expertise and energy of governments, organizations, and social entrepreneurs to shape the future of this sector. So I do want to acknowledge that I am a citizen of the unceded and unsurrendered Algonquin territory, in a community within the nation of Kitigan-Zibi, Anishinaabe, and I'm grateful to be here, that we've gathered here on this land. That is the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe Nation and the traditional territory of Fort William First Nation, with a beautiful view into it, and signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. So yeah, we're going to just go into an update on the previous rounds, and I will provide an overview of the building for the future round. Try to make it a little bit fun, maybe, we'll see. Okay, so the Housing Supply Challenge, it's 5 years in duration, and we have about $300 million in funding over those 5 years. We launch a new round of the challenge about every year. So we started in 2020 with our data-driven round. 2021 was the Getting Started round. So both of those are still in progress. And then we have Northern Access. This is our current round, and it's just finished up the evaluation phase. So coming soon is Building for the Future. The amounts will be announced in December by the minister. So barriers to housing supply. Well, more than 1.6 million Canadians do not have an affordable home that meets their needs. So the Housing Supply Challenge aims to address this crisis by reducing or eliminating barriers to housing supply. So barriers to housing supply are complex, they're interconnected, but without addressing these barriers, our funding with CMHC funding can only go so far. So that's where our program comes in. You may be familiar, CMHC under the National Housing Strategy has several programs that do the focus on building units. The housing supply challenge is focused on the systemic change. What are the challenges in the housing system, and what is preventing us from creating more housing that is affordable? So the vision of the housing supply challenge is that by funding a variety of solutions to reduce or remove these barriers in communities across the country, we will enable the creation of more housing that is affordable by those other bricks and mortar programs that CMHC offers. Okay, so we'll just start the update here. So the first round of the challenge, data-driven, data solutions for informed decision-making. So we opened this up, we received 136 applications. 21 applicants were selected to proceed into stage 2. And we have 14 solutions that are currently being funded for implementation. We had a really great turnout of the 21 solutions. They represented 9 provinces, 1 territory. We have 7 Indigenous applicants, 5 from First Nations, and 17 out of 21 solutions are targeting racialized groups, including newcomers, refugees, and Indigenous. And as mentioned, we have 14 solutions that are currently in implementation. So just here, I will highlight, these are our First Nation teams that are supported by round 1. So terrific work is being done by these teams to reduce data barriers. They're all well on their way to meeting important milestones in the implementation process. So for full descriptions of what these teams are doing, I highly recommend you check them out on the CMHC website. And quick update on round 2, getting started. This is our pre-development process rounds. $40 million is being shared for development and solution implementation. We just announced the finalists, the final 14 funded solutions, I believe in the last 2 weeks. So super exciting what's going on with this one. And we have 2 out of 14 solutions that are from the First Nations. And I did just kind of want to highlight by providing a summary of what these 2 teams are doing. It's pretty remarkable, and it's just about to happen. So we have Anishinaabe Aski Nation Corporate Services, and their project is called Community-Led Designs for Specialized Housing in the North. The solution creates an alternative pre-construction process of housing designs with populations experiencing inequitable housing outcomes in Anishinaabe Aski Nation territory. So ultimately, this challenge for them synthesizes lived experience with technical expertise to create shovel-ready housing designs. So the process is co-created. The team engaged community members, community members, local technical professionals, and architects. So the existing policies, programs, and funding mechanisms support the reproduction of suburban style housing across northern reserves, and this doesn't work. In fact, it results in inadequate and inappropriate housing for many Anishinaabe Aski Nation members. So to further facilitate housing development, an implementation toolkit will be produced in collaboration with community housing professionals and regional technical experts. So the shovel-ready housing designs and implementation toolkits will equip each member First Nation with the necessary tools to address their identified challenges with specialized models of affordable housing. The toolkits respond to the unique cultures, climates, and geographies of Northern Ontario. So the team is creating resources to reduce the pre-construction barriers, which was our challenge that they're in, to support the development of new housing for community members experiencing the greatest need. These resources are rooted in the experiences and desires of the members and ultimately directly to the ongoing housing emergency in Anishinaabe Aski Nation territory. So terrific solution. I encourage you to check that one out. And then we also have the Victoria Native Friendship Center. Their solution is called Raven House. So the critical shortage of available, affordable, and culturally appropriate housing in conjunction with the disproportionately high number of Indigenous children experiencing state care is an emergency. We have the responsibility to break this cycle and provide continued support to our children and youth as they mature into young adults. The Victoria Native Friendship Centre is in the process of purchasing a new parcel of land to build a 6-story apartment building, which will house both Indigenous youth aging out of care, as well as elders. This culturally based housing community will provide a sustainable and mutually supportive housing model for years to come. As part of the housing solution, they're going to bring together a peer network of housing providers, operators, and support staff who have direct experience with housing youth, the youth aging out of care, intergenerational housing, and those who work and share in that can share lessons learned, and identifying solutions to common challenges and work to support the Victoria Native Friendship Centre in this project. So through a series of workshops and feedback sessions, they're going to synthesize that support and advice into a succinct housing toolkit as well, and make it easily available to other providers. So awesome work going on by Victoria Native Friendship Centre as well. So round 3, this is our current round. As mentioned, this is the one that I was responsible for. So hopefully you can get some questions answered if you have them. So we just selected a short list. We received an incredible 187 applications. 33 were shortlisted. That well exceeds the number of shortlisted applicants we planned on having. There were so many good solutions in this round. If I could have shortlisted 100, I would have been happy with that. So we expect to have a pool around $75 million to implement the solutions. And actually, when I was first coming here, they told me I couldn't announce the shortlisted solutions. But luckily, we're going to give you guys an exclusive preview of these. The solutions will be announced in about a week or so. So I basically have decided to bundle these in order to describe what some of these solutions are. As you can see, there's a lot up on the screen. There's 3 pages of this short list. So the first bundle of solutions, I'm going to refer to them as material facilities and supply hubs. So what does this mean? So we have a proposed solution that will develop Red Seal trades and training program to create Inuit building capacity in Arviat and the Kavalik region. So reducing dependency on Southern workers, it will also reinforce Nunavut's economy by keeping most of the investment in housing within Nunavut. The modular hub housing factory will have all year long controlled environment. The proposed solution is an integrated supply and shipping hub as well. So we also have another integrated supply and shipping hub based in Pickle Lake, Ontario, that will service Indigenous communities in Northern Ontario. So Pickle Lake is an access point to the winter road system in Ontario. You may know this. So the solution will include full service building materials store. They're going to have a fleet of lighter class trucks and trailers for longer winter road service and more frequent trips, as well as improvements to the all-weather road north of Pickle Lake, and a fully integrated management system for material procurement and shipping. We also have an Arctic Construction Center. So the center will be a new hub for modular manufacturing, specifically ready to move in homes that will be easily and ideally situated in Hay River, Northwest Territories, for all season road and barge access to across the north. The homes will be high quality. That's something we have to get asked about, is when we're talking about affordable, will they be high quality? The solution proposes high quality, culturally relevant and resilient to extreme northern climate homes that can be transported across the north, as mentioned. Another solution, oh, sorry, this is the same one. They have support from local schools in a partnership with Hay River Métis. The center plans to use Government of Northwest Territories School and North Apprenticeship Program. So the program encourages and promotes skilled trades as a career choice. A program of studies will be developed and integrated with existing programs. Then with other partners, including Northern Alberta Institute of Technology and Aurora College, they will ensure that the programs qualify for credit. Very important. The credit will go towards trades apprenticeships, secondary and post-secondary programs. So we even have solutions like building a home hardware in Iqaluit, which currently does not have a hardware store or materials supply store in the region. So creating a supply depot in Iqaluit will enable year-round access to the building supplies in that region, and it will include a 10,000 square foot lumber shed, 5,000 square feet of heated storage, 16,000 square feet of retail space, and 30 sea cans in a yard for additional storage of construction supplies. So you may be thinking, this is sort of out of the ordinary for CMHC to fund, and it definitely is. It took a bit of convincing to do this round. But I'll mention the next bundle of solutions are about procurement, transportation, and storage. We have a group that's going to purchase or lease a new tug and barge to improve the supply of housing in Nunavut. So this group already provides freight management services to northern communities, and they feel that the new tug and barge will allow for bi-weekly shipping services from Churchill to Kavalik. So this is going to increase shipments to the area from 3 shipments per year to 14, sorry, per season to 14, same as here. It'll also extend the shipping season from 4 months to 6 months. So that is from June to November. So additionally, the new tug and barge will allow for one-stop pricing and service from Thompson or the Paw to communities in Nunavut via rail and ship. So what does this mean? This means a 40% reduction over current costs, and expanding shipping infrastructure will also increase the options for the size and weight of deliveries. Another awesome example we have is the Van Tutwichin proposed solution. So it's near-term scalable, and it will provide long-term stability for supply. It will be done by constructing purpose-built warehousing that can store multiple years worth of materials. So stable supply of materials would mean that new homes can be built each year, even if the winter road is not accessible that season. So ultimately, they feel it will alleviate the supply limitations due to inconsistent winter road availability. And of course, we have a lot of training and educational solutions as well. We have one that's proposing an education model for other First Nation communities by co-creating curriculum, training programs, housing designs, and building materials with the University of Manitoba. So this enterprise will help to design and build cultural and environmental houses from local wood and other resources to improve housing quality, employ Northerners, and reduce production costs. Having a sawmill and home building social enterprise in York Factory First Nation will increase the capacity of York Factory First Nation's labor force and provide youth with training opportunities. There's so many examples within here. I think we have 4 or 5 solutions that are looking at training up youth and building more capacity within the communities for building. We also have an attainable housing finance and land development solution. We have local building using hemp and so many other innovative solutions. I encourage you to check them all out when the shortlist comes out, hopefully in the next week or so. So I have to mention a lot of the Great Northern participation that we got for this round is thanks to the hard work that went into the Northern Ideas Development Program. And this was support that was offered for the development of an application to Northern and remote applicants only. This came directly from consultations that my team did, sort of scoping out this round. We heard it's horrendous to apply to CMHC programs. And so we wanted to alleviate some of that and also take on some of that capacity drain from the teams that are working so hard on important building projects already. So the program was created and delivered by Innovation 7 and Tag Strategy, which happens to be the promoters of this conference. So they ran this over the course of 4 months during that initial stage. And the results were incredible. So NIDP supported submissions represented 22% of all 187. But if you look, the percentage of shortlisted applications supported by the NIDP represented 42%. So the results were great, and we're definitely looking at integrating, follow-up a program like this into the Housing Supply Challenge into all rounds. So we'll get into the call for proposal that's coming up this December. It's round 4, Building for the Future, Innovative Construction for Housing Affordability. So why a construction round? Well, constructing and preserving housing in Canada is costly, time-consuming, and complex. And while previous rounds have focused on topics such as data-driven decision-making for housing supply, we had the pre-development processes improvements, as mentioned, and the northern supply chain. This one focuses on supporting innovations in housing construction and renovation. So replicating, adapting, or adopting innovative solutions that will respond directly to the barriers identified in the consultations regarding the construction or renovation of housing. That's what this one's all about. So the challenge seeks innovative construction processes, techniques, systems, or materials that will increase the supply of housing that is affordable, climate compatible, and meets people's needs. So the Building for the Future round has 4 key objectives: to address barriers in innovation and construction, to increase housing supply. The second is to cultivate solutions that can be replicated or scale, not necessarily something that's a one-off or a niche solution. The third is to support solutions that address local unique challenges. And the fourth is to stimulate collaboration, knowledge sharing, and partnerships. So just to note that not all solutions have to meet every single one of these objectives, but this is basically sort of like the goalposts for what we'll be looking at during the evaluation of the submissions. Okay, so the barriers. So a variety of interrelated factors impact the supply of housing that's affordable. Here are some barriers that were tested during the scoping of this round: access to materials, resources, and technology, complexities in retrofitting existing housing supply, project delivery complexities, high costs and the sunk costs, as well as knowledge management and sharing. So something interesting here is just that every single solution that comes in here, they must consider where it will be implemented, the geography that the solution will be in. Of course, Canada's geography is very dispersed. Solutions must demonstrate the feasibility and viability in relation to how it will be built in an impacted geography. So that really means we've got different climatic conditions. So that must be considered. Something that is emerging in the Housing Supply Challenge is something called a people-centered approach. So that explores the opportunities to contribute to reconciliation efforts that meet unique local needs. So just on reconciliation, so Canada is doing ongoing work to advance reconciliation and renew relationships with Indigenous peoples based on the recognition of rights, respect, cooperation, and partnership as outlined in the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. So awareness of both historic and modern day colonization and its ongoing effects of Indigenous peoples is critical to any decision being made, including the design of solutions that address housing supply. So applicants must describe how their solution contributes to reconciliation efforts in Canada. We also have the unique local community needs, as mentioned. So it must be relevant. It must impact a community where the needs, are found based on deep involvement and buy-in. There will also be an equity, diversity, and inclusion lens applied to this one. And just to note that eligible expenses in this program include the cost of consultations, cost of integrating, equity, diversity, inclusion approach, or reconciliation activities. This could be honoraria, for example, just to get the participation required. So there's a number of barriers that limit innovation in housing construction. these are just some of the ones that the round will focus on. There are many barriers that are not so suited to the challenge, and there may be activities that still need to be eligible for funding in order to improve feasibility or viability of the solution. So there are others in addition to these that could be applicable. That's really what that is to say. Let's skip some of these notes. So here's a range of relevant solutions for the construction technology round. We have a solution that would be decreasing construction costs or streamlining processes, minimizing errors, reducing waste, or reducing delays that drive down construction costs, improving existing housing to increase state sustainability, embedding traditional Indigenous knowledge in approaches to housing construction, a solution that could be creating a circular economy in construction by reducing waste or repurposing materials, improving construction process for retrofits, increasing productivity and health and safety on site. So solutions for that, as well as accelerating the adoption of processes, techniques, or systems that are new or are currently in limited use. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what this round is looking for. So the lead applicant, as always, must be a legal entity duly incorporated in and validly existing in Canada. So something that is unique about the Housing Supply Challenge, we do allow for-profit organizations to be a lead applicant. So this could be housing developers, builders, construction professionals, general contractors, and so on. Non-profit organizations, of course, are eligible to lead, Indigenous organizations, governments, and groups, Canadian post-secondary institutions, and certain levels of government, basically all levels except for the feds are allowed to be a lead applicant. So the lead applicant means that you would enter into an agreement with CMHC, a contribution agreement, and that you would manage the administration of funding. Of course, all of our teams have numerous collaborators, and we often only name one lead applicant. So definitely many are involved. You don't have to be a single team. We encourage collaboration, but you must have a legal entity that is listed when you apply. Sometimes we get asked about non-resident, non-Canadian or international applicants. So they cannot be the lead applicant, but they can be a collaborator or a contributor to a team. So here we have the timeline and the structure. So there's going to be 3 months to apply, and that's beginning in December 2022, and it's going to run until April 2023. So this is where you would briefly explain the solution, provide answers to questions, things like that through the support program. That's what that 3-month period of apply is referring to. And then in stage 2, there will be 6 months. So the solutions that are selected, this is 8 months. So there's 8 months to design, build, and plan out that solution for the final submission. And we expect to have around 25 applicants, and they will receive incubation funding. I just can't announce how much that will be yet. And then there will be about a year to implement. So at the end of that 8-month design and build, they will submit a final implementation application. It will go through a rigorous evaluation process, and an undetermined amount of solutions will be selected, and they will share the pool of implementation funding. And now you may be wondering, okay, 12 months to implement a solution, that seems very short. That is referring to the funding period of CMHC. So the money would be issued over 12 months, but we expect the solutions to continue to implement after CMHC funding has been transferred. So here we have our application requirements. So I just want to mention there will be an info session coming up in January. We're thinking mid-January, probably around January 19th as it's currently slated. So this information session will go into great detail about all the application requirements if you're interested. But I can mention just sort of what we're expecting. So the section 1 is the applicant information and eligibility. So it's your project title, a summary, who is the funding recipient, the team leader name, contact information. So this section is not weighted, of course. Section 2 is the solution and its impact. So how will the solution impact the supply of housing? What will be the impact on supply of affordable housing? Is there an impact on the population or end user group that will benefit from the solution? And the climate compatibility of the solutions. That's what they're looking for in section 2. Section 3 is the applicant capacity and feasibility. So describe the technical feasibility, how it will need to be developed in order for the solution to be ready for implementation, and provide a work plan for idea development activities and explain how the activities will advance the solution. So again, as I mentioned, all of these things, it may seem daunting, and that's why we hope to have another program in place that will help with some of this application development, because I know a lot of teams are very busy. So you also have to list the team members and provide information on their role in the team, and if they have relevant experience, it could be lived experience. Describe the steps that are being taken to engage those who will use or benefit or be affected by the solution. And the final section is the long-term sustainability. So how could the solution continue on? Can others reproduce this kind of solution? Can it be scaled up or scaled out after its implementation? So provide a list of current or future partners and identify potential risks and mitigation strategies. So again, this is the initial application. Some of that may seem heavy. Again, it's just the initial thoughts. And if you're selected, you would have 8 months to really determine all of those issues in greater detail. Oh, I didn't switch it. So the applicant capacity, or applicant collaborations and partnerships. So like, as mentioned, we encourage multi-sectoral collaboration. We hope that everyone can choose the amount of involvement that they would like to have. And there's lots of different roles. You don't necessarily have to be a leading team. You can collaborate in different ways. You can partner, you can consult on a solution. So there's sort of something for everybody. So we have an applicant support program, which is different than the NIDP. This is something we put in place from round 1. So it includes resources and events to support applicants with their ideas, how to apply, and provide an opportunity to connect with other potential applicants. So we encourage anyone who is interested in this round 4 that I'm mentioning to reach out. The Evergreen team, it's a nonprofit who runs this program. They have a friendly bilingual team, but unfortunately bilingual means English and French in this case, of dedicated support staff to answer questions prior to the application deadline. So they can help confirm your eligibility for the round. They can also provide one-on-one support. So to contact Evergreen, you can email them. The email address, is not on the screen, this old presentation. The email address is hsc-dol support4@evergreen.ca. You can come find me after if you would like this email address. They also have a phone number, 647-670-2265. So they have resources, during this initial stage that will begin in December. They have some modules on a community solutions portal, that's what it's called. They often have info sessions, webinars, and they will have a skills building workshop, which can help with the application development as well. Okay, so how do I apply? On December 1st, you'll be able to go to Impact Canada's website and click on the Housing Supply Challenge, Building for the Future round. This will bring you to all the latest information and resources, including the application form, a detailed applicant guide, and an FAQ. So all applications must be received by 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 13th, 2023. So if you're interested in the round but not keen to apply, we're always looking for evaluators. We need folks with experience in all aspects of innovative construction. If you have relevant experience and are interested in joining the evaluation process or to simply learn more, please contact us at challenge@cmhc.ca. Our team would be happy to connect with you. So here you can sign up for updates if you'd like to stay in touch. We've got a couple ways to do that. You can go to cmhc.ca / housing supply challenge, or we'll have a landing page for building for the future for updates. You can send us an email anytime at challenge@cmhc.ca. Yeah, and we can sort of open this up to questions. Oh, you can also click on a QR code. It would take you right to the sign up space. So thank you for listening to that novel I just presented. Hopefully some of it was able to be understandable. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now, or you can find me tomorrow morning. I'll be at the CMHC booth.
Minutes short. We've got 2 minutes extra. On behalf of the First Nation Housing Conference Committee, I'd like to offer our appreciation. And if you could please fill out the evaluation form either on paper or on your cellular device. And let's eat. Maybe.